What an incredible afternoon. All of these amazing people just kind of coming in and really looking at exactly what we're all about, which is the native voice, and as a vehicle for that native voice to have it go out and create a message. And there's a lot of young people out there that are so caught up with all of the violence, the drugs, the abuse, the homelessness, and that really is a very small, very small segment of Indian country. The Indian country is so vibrant, full of spirit, as evidence of what happened this afternoon with having a talk first by Oren Lyons, then the North people coming in to talk about the real native rights and the initiatives that they're doing. They spoke about voting, being out there and being active in the communities, in the fate of the Indian communities themselves. And then all of a sudden, we have Orlando Cruz, a young warrior that came in, then Myron Dewey coming in to the digital smoke signals, and a message started to evolve that Native America is as vibrant today as ever. All that's needed is the platform for it, and we're so blessed to be able to be part of it. We have Boye, a spokesperson, relentlessly going out there, giving a message to Indian communities all over the country. And then we have Rebecca Moore, and we're developing a educational program for without education, nobody knows where they come from. And Rebecca is a PhD, tenured professor, Highlands University, and is bringing to us a level of validation or valid certification or academic recognition that education is as much a part of media as anything. To get the young kids involved in their culture, get kids involved in their self-esteem, the way they look at themselves, and they look at Indian country as really strong citizens, even though they may be living in a Anglo-dominated world. The message of Native America is needed by everybody. So, Rebecca, thank you for coming and being a part of this afternoon. It's incredible. And we're now working to develop some common core programs that are integral to Native Media Network, going out to tribes all over the country to, again, share the experience, elders to young people. The mic is yours.
Thank you. And I don't know if my voice is high enough. Oh, is it fine? Okay. First, I'll introduce myself. My name is Rebecca Maldonado Moore. I'm Northern Arapaho. That's where my enrollment is at. But I also have relatives who are Lakota from Pine Ridge. My father was from Jalisco, Mexico. So I'm truly indigenous to the entire continent, and having like different cultural values. And I have to also recognize my grandparents, who had a significant influence on my moving forward in the world of education. And my grandparents were James and Marguerite Spoonhunter from 17 Mile Crossing. My mother continued to believe that education was the vehicle that was going to change the circumstances of her people and her children and family, while we retained some very traditional values, family values, agricultural values, work values. And over the course of my lifetime, I've been taken through these different experiences, all the way to the East Coast, where I completed my PhD, and then back to the Southwest, where I still have many family members. So it's been a full circle journey. And just as Harmon was talking about the different people that have come into this room this afternoon, it's been amazing. I felt truly called, and this is really it. If you pay attention to your spirit, you're called to be at a place. And I showed up, and here was Highlands and Boye, and it was just like it's like a once in a lifetime opportunity to hear these kinds of elders talk about their perspectives on world affairs, on local affairs. So it's a blessing, and I'm looking forward to being able to retrieve some of those tapes so that I can use them in our campus and working with our Highlands students. So Highlands University called me. I really believe, again, my people called me back into this particular region so that I could be of service in working with all of the indigenous youth and young adults in the northern region. And in doing that, I committed to developing a program through the School of Social Work that would, and it's really long-term, people thought, oh, this will never take off, but it actually has. We've gained traction. The very first year, as a faculty member, I was given the role as serving as the coordinator for the People's Center for Indigenous Knowledges. It was a provost appointment, a dean appointment, and the school recognized that we have a historical commitment to all Indian people and Hispanic people of New Mexico. We're in the heart of Indian country, and what are we doing to graduate our students? And the numbers haven't been that great. So the idea is that we created a blueprint the very first year I was here. And I'm a community organizer, a macro practitioner. I believe in full collaboration. For anybody who's interested in a given issue, we have to start talking to each other. We just can't be working in silos, whether it's on campus or in the community. And when the initiative was announced that this was going to unfold, people started approaching me and saying, I want to get involved. You know, this is my background. These are the things that I'm interested in. The blueprint we created through what is called a search conference. And it's a participatory action research process where all of the stakeholders come together. We convene for 2 days over a long weekend, and we hammer it out. We talk about what is our vision, our mission, our goals, how are we going to achieve these, what are the resources we need. Out of that, our action plan kind of like bubbled up. We had to develop the infrastructure. We were starting to look at student recruitment and mentoring, curriculum development, community engagement, and research. Those are our primary goals. And as of just this past week, Highlands launched their very first community center for indigeneity at Melody Hall. It's a program house on campus for all first-time freshman Indian students. They have their own residential facility where it's not necessarily segregate them, but we insulate them so that we provide enough resources and a skill set for them to transition from their home communities to university and then to want to stay at university and graduate. We're the 5th program house in the country. The very first one was Cornell University, where I came from, Acueco. So that's why sitting here looking at Oren Lyons speak, I met him at Acueco House 30 years ago. And then just last week, we opened our own Acueco House in New Mexico at Highlands on the main campus. Wow. So this is like full circle, and it was just like a dream come true. Because I knew Ron LaFrance, and I knew John Mohawk, Robert Venables, Oren Lyons, all of these individuals who actually opened my mind to alternative ways of living. Because we have some concept, but being able to build this house, and that's really how I look at it. I owe it to all of these people who have mentored me, who have taught me. And now I'm in that position to be able to open it up for those youth behind me. So we launched, the president was there, the vice president, all of the students who are living there. It was just like a dream. I was living a dream. And this is the first in the state. So
How amazing.
that's kind of like some of the things that I do. And I teach, which was a hard-earned process. I've been teaching for almost 20 years, and in June I was awarded full professor for Highlands University in social work, and I'm the only female American Indian professor there, which is unfortunate, but it's the beginning. Maybe now with our Indigeneity Center, with our new courses that we're offering, that we'll be able to start attracting more people who have an interest in education. Back to what Harmon and I are involved with. One of our community engagement and research projects is this Pueblo curriculum that Harmon introduced me to. And I met Harmon and his wife years ago when I was living in San Ildefonso Pueblo. So we recognized each other at a community foundation meeting and just started talking again and renewed some relationships. He's the one who had access to this Indian Pueblo Cultural Center curriculum that had been developed by a Kellogg grant several years ago. And the curriculum didn't have that rollout phase where if you put all this time, energy, and effort into a very vital piece of cultural curriculum, and then it just sat there. Harmon saw it, he recognized the opportunity, and he said, let's get Highlands involved to endorse the curriculum. I involved the School of Education, who read it and said, hey, this is fabulous. It's already met the Common Core standards for the state, and that the students in the School of Education would be the ones who would be trained. They would be that first critical mass. And with my role as a social worker, I would be involved in overseeing the project. Harmon is the technological rollout. I'm the hardcore, hard copy rollout. And the momentum with the School of Education, the social work, with Harmon, with technology, MediaNet, it can only go up and out because it's a very well thought through process to ensure that all students, not just Indian students, but all students benefit from this cultural awareness.
Education is the future.
Oh, absolutely.
Kids today are not getting a good education. They're just learning facts. Google has all the facts in the world, not all of them accurate facts. There's a lot of fake Google out there. And Boye is an educator. He is out there in the front line educating people about culture. And you can't learn about culture through books.
Right.
You got to experience culture.
It's a lived experience.
Anything that we do has to be a component of what Boye is doing to get these kids to recognize the rich heritage that they have and to put it into practice. So it's an amazing, their little convergences are also coming together. Because it is, entertainment is great, but entertainment has to educate too.
Right. And it's so true what Oren was saying about him being a runner for that spiritual side, that traditional side. And for me, I see myself as a messenger, that the types of material that we introduce, the concepts of structured Western education, but the cultural concepts are just as important, and I happen to be in a position to be the messenger to deliver these kinds of activities and programs. I think a lot of it has to do with, I was trained as a social worker, but I believe in the needs of the people, and those needs always, again, bubble up. This is what's going on, this is what we need, and I just respond to the needs. I think if I were more calculating, it wouldn't work. But the way that everything has happened, since.
Thank you for being part
You're
of
welcome.
this.
I'm just sitting here listening and learning.
Thank you. I
Appreciate it.
that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Look forward to working with
Well,
you.
we're having a series.